Hello children, we will continue in this part with the sex determination in human beings. You are already aware I have taken up autosomes and allosomes in one of the previous videos, and I have explained you that there are two types of chromosomes if they are all X and X, that is autosomes. So they are all having similar chromosomes, so they are autosomes. Whereas if the chromosomes are not similar, they are heterozygous, then they are called as allosomes. And in case of humans, the males, they produce two different types of gametes which have X and Y chromosomes. So the human female, it produces only one type of gamete that contains only X chromosome. Now the sex of the baby, that is determined by the type of male gamete that fuses with the female gamete. And if the fertilizing sperm, it contains X chromosome also and Y chromosome also. So if the fertilizing sperm contains X chromosome and it fuses with the female gamete, so then it will form a female, that is daughter is produced. And if the fertilizing sperm contains Y chromosome, then the baby will be produced will be boy. So we can say that it is a matter of chance that the sex of the baby is determined at the time of fertilization. Also, this is very clear, as you have now understood clearly that the autosomes and the allosomes. So autosomes, once again I tell you here, they are the kind of chromosomes which help in determining the general body characters, the features, like the any character, you can say color or height and all those things. So humans have 22 pair of autosomes, okay? And the 23rd pair, that means this is the sex chromosome, and that actually helps in determining the sex of an organism. Every human, they have one pair of sex chromosome. Now if you see here, you know there are 46 chromosomes here, 23 pair. तो 44 हो गए ऑटोसोम, और ये हो गया 45, ये हो गया 46, तो ये हो गया 46, right? So 44 plus these two, 46. Otherwise 22 plus X and 22 plus Y, because the sperm contains two different types of chromosomes. And this pair is called as sex chromosome or allosome. And in case of females, actually this chromosome remains X, but here it determines the sex of an individual, the female. That is why we call it here as a sex chromosome or allosome. So if you see 44 plus XY, and after meiosis there will be reduction division, and the sperms will have the number of chromosomes 22 plus X, 22 plus Y. Similarly, ovum will have 22 plus X, and other also remains 22 plus X. When the fusion occurs, the result is half from here 22, half from here 44 plus XX. So that is resulting in the formation of a daughter. And again, you see the sperm with the bearing Y chromosome, if it combines with the ovum, so then it will result in the combination of 44, 22, 22, 44 plus X and Y, that will result in the formation of son. Now here is one question that is related with this, that sex of the child depends upon the mother or father. Give reason. So as I explained you, the father produces two types of sperms, half having X chromosome and half having Y chromosome. The mother produces only one type of ovum, and each having X chromosome. This I have written for you, you can copy it down, okay? If a sperm bearing Y chromosome fuses with the ovum, the child will be male. And if a sperm bearing X chromosome fuses with the ovum, then the child is female. So it is just a matter of chance to which sperm fuses with the ovum during fertilization. So this is about the sex determination in human beings. I hope it is clear. So now we see the next thing, that is sex linked inheritance. So see children, this sex, it makes no difference in Mendel's crosses, but the Mendel's laws are not applicable on those genes which are exclusively located on either X or Y chromosome. I repeat my statement, that Mendel's laws are not applicable on those genes which are exclusively, that means which are only present either in X or Y chromosome. Sex linked inheritance is the inheritance of a trait or phenotype that is determined by a gene located on one of the sex chromosome. Sex linked inheritance, if we see the definition, so it is the inheritance, that means from one generation to another generation it goes, inheritance of a particular trait, that is phenotype, and that particular thing is that is determined by a gene and it is located on one of the sex chromosomes. Now the genes which occur exclusively on X chromosomes or on you can say Y chromosomes, so they are different, and if they are present on X, so they are called as X-linked genes, while the ones which are present exclusively on Y chromosome, they are known as Hollandric genes. Then the inheritance of this such type of X or Hollandric genes or Y-linked genes, that is called as sex-linked inheritance. I will give you the copy of these statements in the solution which I will be giving you with the answers of these questions. So see children, it has been observed that the genes which are occurring only in the X chromosome are naturally, they are two X chromosomes in females, so they will be represented twice in female because female contains two XX chromosomes, and once in male because male has only one X chromosome. So the differential region of each chromosome, suppose this X is here, it contains genes that have no counterpart on the other kind of this chromosome. That means iska dusra, suppose if the disease occurs on this, there is no other part of this on Y chromosome. So the differential region of each chromosome, that is say X, contains no genes that have no counterparts on the other kind of sex chromosome. These genes, whether they are dominant or recessive, they show their effects in the male phenotype. What I mean to say is that suppose if there is any gene which is located on X chromosome, so in case of males, what will happen? There is no point, there is no case of being dominant or recessive, because this particular thing will show its effect in the male phenotype. So genes in the differential region are called hemizygous. Hemi means half. So that is present in case of males. That means suppose if there is a disease which is present on Y chromosome, Y-linked diseases, hypertrichosis, or you can say pattern baldness. Hypertrichosis, I hope you understand, that is the growth of hair, on ear pinna, and you must have noticed this character. So this is a Y-linked disease because this appears only on males. Another thing is pattern baldness, that is half scalp is empty and half is covered with hair, so that is baldness. So pattern baldness and hypertrichosis, these are the two Y-linked diseases for which the gene will be located on the Y chromosome. So we call it as Y-linked gene, and this type of this gene which is located only on one chromosome, they are actually, this type of combination is called as hemizygous. So you have read about homozygous and heterozygous. This condition is defined as hemizygous condition. Then you can see the examples of X-linked diseases, that is color blindness and hemophilia. So inheritance of X-linked disease, that is recessive genes, we can say, because in case of females it remains recessive. Now there is a representation chart which is given here, that if in case the normal female, you all know normal female is represented by X and X, and if suppose whatever result you are getting, it is X and X, so the output or the result you will calculate, or you will read the phenotype as a normal female. But if one of the X chromosome, it carries this gene, so since one is carrying, that will be called as carrier female. Whereas if the gene for this disease is present on both the chromosomes, it will be called as the colorblind or the diseased female. Similarly, if it is simply X and Y, that will be normal male, and if there is any disease or gene which is present on X chromosome, which is responsible for the disease, then in that case the males will be color blind. Now there are certain questions which I have given, and with the solution you can see. Draw a Punnett square to show a cross between a color blind male and a normal female. Now this is one thing which you have to learn and understand, that you see color blind male, तो color blind is X-linked disease. इसका मतलब इसके लिए जो जीन प्रेजेंट है वो X क्रोमोसोम में प्रेजेंट होगा, एंड देन male chromosome consists of male sperm consists of X and Y chromosomes, so they have these gametes formed, and here X and X. So whenever we make a cross, what is the possible combination which we get, or the result of F1 generation? That is, the one will be two daughters will be carrier and the two sons will be normal. Now here there are a few more questions. Please try to solve them. I will give you the solution for this also. Make a cross to show a progeny of carrier female and a normal male. So carrier female will be only on one X chromosome. The gene will be located for the disease, and normal male XY. Make a cross and tabulate the result. Next is show a cross between the show a cross of the offsprings of a carrier female. Through a cross, you have to make a cross in which you will cross carrier female and a colorblind male. Carrier female, again one X will have the mark of gene on it, and colorblind male X-Y. Show by a Punnett square a cross between a normal female and a hemophilic male. Normal female XX, hemophilic male. Since hemophilia is also X-linked recessive disease, so the gene for this will be located on X chromosome, so it will be X-Y. Here are a few more questions for you, and that is, show by a cross the offspring of a carrier female and a hemophilic male. So here X-Y and X, and show by a Punnett square a cross between carrier female and a normal male. So make all these crosses and see the result, and that you can do in copy. I will give you the solution so that you can tally your answers through it, whether you were able to understand it or not. And there were 2-3 terms which were left out, that is gametes, haploid. So gametes are haploid cells that are formed after meiosis, and they have only half the number of chromosomes. Only one member from each pair is passed on to the daughter cell from the parent. Example, if the N is equal to 23. And diploid is when the cells formed after mitosis have full set of chromosomes. The parent cell passes the entire chromosome set to the daughter cells represented by 2N. And in numbers, if we see, then it is 2N is equal to 46. And then the mutation, the sudden change, it is defined as sudden change in one or more genes which can be inherited. So if there's any change that can be passed on to the next generation, then that is defined as mutations. It is a sudden change which takes place. It can also occur in the structure of chromosome, in the number of chromosome. So this mutation, it changes the heredity material of an organism, and it results in the change of certain characters which are present in them. There are two examples which can be taken for this. One is sickle cell anemia, and through radioactive radiations also certain mutations were noticed. Like if you remember that during the World War II, that attack at Hiroshima and Nagasaki. So what happened over there? Even after so many years, because it happened in 1945. So even after so many years, the change is seen in the offsprings which are coming up now, because there was the change in the change which occurred on the gene. So there was alteration or change on the gene structure, and the effects can be seen even now till date. So that is one thing. So mutation is once the genetic material, there is some change which comes, that is passed on generation after generation. Another example is of sickle cell anemia. It's a blood disease caused by gene mutation. So there is a particular sequence, and if that sequence which codes for protein, it is a little higher level, you can just understand in a simple form that there is a change in the shape of RBC. You all are aware that RBC is disc shaped. So when this RBC turns out to be sickle shaped, that is a little pointed from both the ends, and what happens that this change, it results in the changing of the DNA, and hence the disease is continued. And you know what happens in the sickle cell anemia? Basically, the function of red blood cell is to accommodate oxygen in them, that helps to carry oxygen. So when they become sickle shaped, their shape is disturbed, so they will not be able to carry them, and the person becomes anemic, which may be fatal for them. So and you also know that red blood cells, they are disc shaped. Their shape is like that, so that they can carry more and more oxygen, and they help in more and more transport. That is why their shape is like that. They lack nucleus, mitochondria, and all these things we will discuss in the chapter circulatory system once again when we do all this in detail. So I hope it is clear to you all, the mutation, haploid, diploid, and the sex-linked inheritance and sex determination. So children, I will be solving these questions and will be giving you the answers. In case if you're not able to understand, you please let me know. So I hope this is also clear, that these genes which are specifically located on the chromosome, so they are called as sex linked genes, and the inheritance of these genes, they are called as sex linked inheritance. And specifically, there are the genes which are located on the X chromosome, so then they are termed as X linked recessive, because this X remains recessive in X chromosome. So basically, X-linked recessive inheritance, it is the mode of inheritance in which mutation in a gene on the X chromosome causes the phenotype to be expressed always in males, and for the gene mutation, because they have only one X and one Y chromosome, and in females who are homozygous, for the gene mutation, we see one copy of this mutated gene as carriers. So this X-linked inheritance means that the gene causing the disorder, it is located on X chromosome. I hope it is clear to you all. So I hope in this session these two topics are clear, and with this it is the end of this chapter. So there are some children who wanted to understand a little bit about this pedigree analysis. So I will be giving you a little hint, but children, this is not at all in your syllabus. It is not required. There is one question also given at the end of this chapter, but you may leave it, since some of them are interested to know this. So that I will be explaining in short in the next part, and I will be telling you all the answers of the questions which are given at the back of this chapter, with the solutions of the questions which I have given you, and some of the reasoning questions are there, that also. And one more question which I am asking you to write down the answer. For this also I will give you the answer. The question is, why are sex linked diseases more common in males than females? So I am just explaining you this part also, the answer. This I will give you the copy of it. So see, males have only one chromosome, that is one X chromosome, and if that X chromosome has a defected gene, it will be expressed. That I have explained you. Females have two X chromosomes. So all the diseases like hemophilia, color blindness are recessive diseases and can be expressed in homozygous condition. That is when both the X chromosomes have defective gene. If one X chromosome has a defective gene, the female will be carrier of the disease, and a carrier is a female that has defective gene but that is not expressed. So this sex linked diseases, they are more common in males than in females, because in case of males, what happens that even if on one chromosome this mutated gene is present, then it will be expressed, whereas in case of female it will be called as carrier, but the defective gene will not express the disease. I shall be giving you the copy of this question also. Thank you, children. God bless you, and take care. Stay safe.